Are you or anyone you know looking for a car that can pretty much survive the apocalypse? Well, if that's the case, Audi has you covered with this A8L Security. So this is essentially Audi's top-tier security car made for politicians, businessmen, and basically high-profile individuals who are under constant risk of threat from outside. So this is made to keep them safe and to get them from point A to point B in the safest way possible. And to do that, Audi has given this car some comprehensive changes under the hood and even outside to make sure that the occupants are as safe as possible. Now the bodywork is VR9 certified, so the entire bodywork is VR9 certified, and what that means that this is bulletproof and can withstand as many as 350 to 400 bullets on either end of the car. That's what Audi claims, and can also withstand explosions from hand grenades. Apart from that, all the glass that you see, the front, the back, and all the windows are VR10 certified, and they are bulletproof as well. And Audi claims that these glass can even withstand as much as a sniper's round. If you see the glass, you'll understand why, because they're nearly that thick. So if you're inside the car, there's a lot in between you and that bullet, and you will be safe. With all this extra bodywork and all the extra armor that goes under the bodywork, the weight has gone up significantly. The standard A8L weighs around 2.5 tons, and this one hits the scales at 4.5 tons. That's 2 tons extra. And to move this car around, you need a bigger engine. The V6 simply won't cut it. So you have a bigger V8 4-liter motor, the one that you get abroad. This engine is capable of producing 563 bhp and 800 Newton meters of torque. And despite the extra mass, this can still do the sprint to 100 in 6.3 seconds and continue accelerating to a top speed of 210 kilometers per hour. You can also see these flashers, which are an optional extra, so they work in tandem. So if you're in a convoy, these flashers, they have certain signals that the other people in your convoy will understand, and they also work hand in hand with a siren system that's built in to the car. Apart from that, another thing that you might have seen that looks slightly different are the wheels and the tires. They are not the same profile as the ones that you usually see. That's because these are PAX run flat tires. What that essentially means is if for your tires to get punctured, shot out, or torn in any sense, you can still continue driving at 80 kilometers per hour without needing to stop. Now the first indication of the added heft is when you open the door. Now it takes a bit of effort to open, and as you can see, it is significantly thicker than on the standard car. And if you see the window, they're around yay thick, so it's definitely going to stop whatever is coming from the outside. And with all that extra heft, a single door now weighs 160 kilos. That is a lot, and you definitely feel it when you're moving it around. Now stepping inside, again, unless you're someone who's spent a considerable amount of time with the A8L, you would be really hard pressed to find what's different between this and the standard A8L. The controls are the same, the steering wheel is the same, the entire user interface is all the same. Now bear in mind, this is a German car, so if you do get it in India, you will be in a right-hand drive car. But yeah, for now this is this. So where all the magic happens in terms of the safety and security features is over here. So you have these buttons, extra buttons that you won't find on the A8L, which you have over here in the A8L Security. Starting with the flasher button. Now as you can see, if I press this button, it'll either turn on or turn off the flashers. Right beside that is another button which is flasher with the siren. So like I said before, you can coordinate with the convoy in the group, and if something's really wrong, you have a siren, and all of that has a predetermined meaning, so the people in the convoy know what you're talking about. And then there are these 3 buttons that are hidden by the shield, which essentially does a lot of the safety work that makes the A8L Security so special. The first button is a fresh air button. So in case you're stuck in a place where there's been a chemical attack or where the air outside is simply inhospitable, so if you press that button, it will shut out all the air vents in the car, and there's a purifier in the back which will give out fresh oxygen for about 5 minutes, giving you enough time to escape whatever sort of situation you're stuck in. And right next to that is a fire extinguisher button. Now the fire extinguisher is temperature sensitive, so it will automatically deploy in any case, but if you know there is a certain fire obstacle in front, you can press this button, and there are fire extinguishers under the car that will do what needs to be done to make sure that you don't get stuck because of the fire. Now obviously, for obvious reasons, I can't press any of these buttons, and I also want to tell you about the next button, which is essentially a car with a small door icon. Upon pressing that, if I am trapped in the car and if the doors for whatever reason aren't opening, The hinges have a certain explosive element in them. So if I press that once here, I activate a certain thing on the screen, and then I open the door, what will essentially happen is the hinges will blast and the door will just pop open. So if you're ever stuck in a situation where your door is not opening and you need to get out in an emergency, you do that. Apart from that, you have an entire alarm system which will immobilize the car, which won't allow outside people to open the car, and all of this can be independently triggered from each door as well. And next up is a sort of walkie-talkie system where essentially in a car like this you don't want to be rolling your windows down. So if you want to communicate with the outside world, there is an INT button which allows audio from outside to come inside, and if you want to talk, if you want to be heard, there is a PIT button. When you press that, only then and then will your voice go out. Now safety doesn't get more comprehensive than this, and you are paying a hefty price tag as well. The standard variant of the security starts at rupees 12 crore ex-showroom, and it goes all the way up to 15 or 16 crores based on how you spec it and what options you put on it. So you have the flexibility to put the features that you want and not put what you don't want, but 12 to 16 crores is a lot, but you are getting your money's worth, especially if security is an important concern for you. So what do you think of this Audi A8L Security? Let me know in the comment section down below.